podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Cardiff Central Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Ospreys Irish podcast, the podcast that is probably going to give away an interception during this recording. I am joined this week by Iestyn. No Robbie this week. We've given him a week off because he had a long week last week, so we're giving him a week off. So Iestyn, how are we?
Yeah, good. We can see why Robbie had the week off, because I actually met him Friday night, which is a really cool experience. Thinking, oh my word, that's the bloke that does the Squid Rugby YouTube videos. Then it clicked, realised we actually do the same podcast every week, which is just even more bizarre. But yeah, I think he had a few things going on, so we're going as a duo this week, and yeah, I'm all right.
Don't lie. You put in the group chat that you met Willow in.
Yeah, I meant that as well.
Yeah. So you met Long Eaton's most famous player.
Well, to be fair, I met Robbie the first time after we won in Welford Road.
You did.
So that kind of that explains the message.
Did you have a good weekend? Was it rugby filled?
Yeah, it was. Obviously the interceptions galore in the first 16 minutes on Friday, and then it was Pontypridd against Aberavon on the Saturday, which
Big
was
one.
wasn't that bad. Somehow Ponty have won 3 games on the spin, which is quite interesting, and they're somehow still in the top 4 race, which is quite remarkable. And then this week I've been back out on the older work placement, so that's
yes, you've been tearing it up on Wales Online. Some good articles on there.
Yeah, there's been a couple on that. There's a couple more tomorrow. So if those who are listening on the Wednesday night, so
Is it just a week again?
Some point Thursday, there'll be a couple of pieces up, and hopefully a trip to the Vale tomorrow as well. So on Thursday, to cover the women's press conference ahead of England Wales, which is quite exciting.
Who are they sending out for media? Do you know?
I don't know. I think it's Johan Cunningham and Hannah Jones. I think they're facing the press.
Oh, I want someone entertaining. Like, give me Gwen Crabb, or like give me Kira Bevan, who's always a good one.
I think we had Jasmine Joyce on Tuesday, from I read. So yeah, I think it's mainly because of the team announcements on Thursday. So they probably just want head coach and captain.
Or Kelsey Jones. She's good. She's Port Talbot girl. It's a really good interview with her in Rugby World, actually, this month. Who I had no idea she's in a relationship with Sarah Beckett.
Oh, you learn something new every day.
Learn something new every day. Brilliant. But I am fully paid up member of the Gwen Crabb fan club. So, because I do honestly believe she's. If you put her here and Cecilia Tuapolotta in the men's squad, we'd be world champions by now. Right. What did I do? I played some rugby this weekend. If you listen to the wrap on Monday, I played on Saturday. Played 8 minutes at tight and loose. So Channel made a Reece Henry. Picked up player of the match. Hard fought victory. All but wrapped up the league. It's just good vibes all around down the south of England.
There's probably definitely a better pick-me-up than watching Pontypridd against Aberavon on the Saturday afternoon than nearly winning the league, I suspect.
I don't know. I love watching Ben Bennell and Jay Baker and Harvey Nash. Harvey Nash has played very well.
Jay Baker didn't play, but Harvey Nash has had a really good run of form over the last couple of weeks.
He has had a really good run. I tipped him for big things at the Ospreys, and he was okay at under 20s level as well. But I think it was just a bit congested.
Yeah, I remember Rodri telling me about him when I was in sixth form, saying, "Oh, they've signed this scrum half from the Blues." Obviously, it was the Blues back then. They said, "Oh, they signed this scrum half from the Blues." And, yeah.
I'm good. I'm glad he's doing well, though. Okay, So news-wise, there's not much news. Unless we say that every week. Genuinely, and there is no news. So 2 of the 3 Cheetahs boys. Oh, sorry, I broke the news yesterday. I broke an exclusive that the Vardy Boshoff is staying until at least May. So big thank you to DJ Russo for sending me over that exclusive. Really grateful to him again. Give him a follow on Twitter if anything Cheetahs related. So he's going to stay. He's going to miss their quarterfinal, the round of 16 game against Clermont-Auvergne. And he could stay as late as May. More interestingly, actually, let me say thank you to Victor Sekakete and Jean-Jean Rudolph. They were both really good. They're welcome back anytime. More interestingly, 3 Ospreys players have been registered at the Cheetahs, with one of them being a prop. Now, as I said on Twitter, a list was passed to me at the end of February with potential names that are going out. I'm still not going to name them just until I get more. I might name them later this week. But 3 young players going out to cut their teeth in Bloemfontein in, I believe, the SA Cup. Is it the South Africa Cup or something like that? They're going out to they'll be playing in. It won't be Curry Cup, would it?
It's quite close to Curry Cup season now, though, isn't it?
So it'll be in that environment anyway, which would be good. So, Iestyn, you, what's your thoughts on the whole situation with Boshoff staying and 3 of our boys going out?
Yeah, first of all, it's good to see Boshoff stay in. I think he's been a really good addition. And yeah, you know, he looked quite good against Munster. I thought he was very good up in Edinburgh a couple of weeks before. And it's nice to have like an extra option of 13. There's obviously with injuries to George North, which looks rather serious after what Toby Booth said post-match. And yeah,
Achilles.
Yeah, it'd been nice to have someone alongside Watkin and Florence as options to play 13 and are out 13. So yeah, that's good news. Of course, it's obviously, you know, we don't want to see anyone leave the club, do you? So Sekatete and Rudolph they've played well, I feel, you know, they've gone around the park and just done their stuff. But you know, the Cheetahs have got their own competitions to play in as well, with their under 16 of the Challenge Cup. Who knows? It could easily be. I'm not sure if they're on the other side of the draw or not, but they could easily be a later on in the competition. Could be the Cheetahs against the Ospreys. Who knows? But
that'd be heartbreaking.
That'd be something really interesting. Seeing Dan Gassendi up against Keelan Giles. I think that's a good battle to watch.
Someone commented a rumor on the Facebook page that we've signed him on a 2-year deal, which would make me incredibly happy. I mean, it's very unlikely, but
yeah, and is the winger probably the top priority at the minute? That's the question.
No, I said this, and I said that 13 and who said prop the signing priority. Speaking of signing. Your mates at Wales Online dropped a bomb in the day that Kieran Hardy is basically all but done. Kieran Hardy is supposedly have signed. He's played 93 games with Scarlets. Looks to be on his way out as Dwayne Gill looks to reshuffle. Of course, he is cousins with Luke Davis. Luke Davis is a younger cousin. So Booth is clearly building a family army, because it'll be a pack full of fenders and a backline full of like Kieran Hardy and Luke Davis. So what do you think of the Hardy signing, though, if it does come to fruition?
Yeah, you know, obviously it's not fully confirmed. You know, Steph Thomas he's normally quite reliable and quite good at these exclusives. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I think it probably provides some good competition for Ruben Morgan Williams as well, to have someone someone else alongside him as maybe batting it out to first choice. Obviously, no disrespect to Luke Davis and Cam Jones, but you kind of just felt like at the start of the season that, Ruben was going to be the first choice, and then everyone else would be sorting themselves out for second choice. But yeah, some international experience doesn't go amiss at all. And Hardy's been quite unfortunate that he's had to play alongside someone like Gareth Davis at the Scarlets for so many years, and especially when Davis was reaching his peak, he just felt like there was a starting role for Hardy. So maybe this move could easily change that, and Hardy could be within the shot of being the first choice nine at a region, and well, we'll be able to see where he's like that.
Oh, I agree. It's I think he fits into that system that we want to play. Reliable kicking nine. I said on Rapper Monday that if he was younger, probably a bit less expensive, that Toby would go out and sign Anna Davis. And I think this is like the next cab off the rank in terms of that type of signing. He's not going to cost too much. Solid, reliable, there's more pros than there's cons to this signing. So fingers crossed. We've had no re-signings this week. Still confident that there is going to be more to come. Well, we know there's more to come. Obviously, the fallout from the Nicky deal has happened. Cuthbert is injured. We don't know the severity of it, but it looked very Dewi Lakey to me. Like Dewi Lake against Perpignan. Anyone else? Nicky Smith. Do you think he'll be fit? He popped a rib that game.
I'm not too sure because he had a little cut to the head as well after one of the scrums. So I thought originally went off for blood, then obviously you realise, oh wait, he might have done something to his ribs. So we'll probably find out tomorrow at some point when the booth press conference is. So
are you in that press conference?
I am not. I will not be. Because my work down the Vale, so I think I'm not sure who's covering that exactly, but yeah, I think most of the regional press conferences are tomorrow, so I think all the news will probably come out tomorrow afternoon at some stage.
Yeah, expect news tomorrow. Annoyingly, we haven't got Cardiff. We haven't got a Friday game. So normally we have.
Yeah, the Dragons are on. But
the Dragons, they've had their press conference yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah. So I think everyone else is on the Thursday.
Yeah. So annoying. Right. We can't really avoid it any longer, can we? Or do you want to do good player first, or should we just get it?
I may as well just delve into this and get out of the way.
Right. Ospreys versus Munster. The game finished in the most dramatic fashion possible. Let's start with I don't know where to start because this game was a farce. This game was a farce. Let me just find the good match report. It finished 17-27, right? And so Osprey scored 3 tries. Actually, let's start with some magic numbers. I'm going to steal Hugh Griffin's thing. Ospreys have the worst kicking percentage off the tee of anyone in the league. So they have the lowest success rate off the tee in the league, 65% after missing another 4 points for the weekend. We've now missed 43 points kicking at goal this season. Unfortunately, a lot of that is Owen Williams. Dan Edwards, Jack Walsh, ironically, is in like the top 4 for kicking. Still, how do we feel about that?
I think probably the slight annoyance of it is just that most of them have come at quite crucial games as well. If you look back throughout the season, because obviously you had Owen Williams who missed a conversion away at Connor to the start of the season. If that goes over, there's an extra point.
Get an extra point, yeah.
You know, I can't remember about the Glasgow game, but
Scarlets, he missed one. I know it didn't matter, but
yeah, you know, if you miss one, then you comfortably in front. They don't really tend to be noticed. So you got the Connacht game. You have
Dan Edwards missed one in the Ulster game, which obviously we wouldn't have had to have the last minute drop goal, things like that. So yeah, is it a worry going forward? Do we think?
I think a little bit. I think well in terms of probably the league position and how all the points have managed to work themselves out, it probably is. If you're looking back and you think, you know, there's a point missing there, you know, Duncan Weir with Glasgow from the Glasgow game, he was pinpoint off the tee. I'm pretty sure he's 100% that evening, and you know, kicked the penalty to give them the lead, and then the conversion to deny the Ospreys a losing bonus point that night. And then if you look at it from Friday night, you got the you know, if you go in at 14-19 as it would have been if the second conversion went over, you're thinking, right, it's a bit closer. And then Munster turned up for about 5 minutes, Nyman scores, and you're chasing the game again. So you know, it's just there's little moments from missing kicks and things like that you kind of you probably look back at the start of the season and you think, right, it's not first game or two of the season, all right, it's not that much of a worry. But then when you're in the business end of the season, you're fighting for the top 8 or you know or Champions Cup rugby, and you're thinking, oh, if only that kick went over, if only that kick went over. But goal kicking's quite similar to other mistakes that happened on the field as well. You know, those countless chances that inside the Munster 22 where the Ospreys either drop a ball or a pass might not go to hand and things like that. You know, one example where Owen Williams tries an offload and it bounces off Sam Parry's head, which is rather unfortunate. Or where Morgan Morris loses control of the ball inside the Munster 22. So they kind of, you know, they all add up, don't they? So as everyone looks at the kicking stats in a way, you kind of need to look elsewhere as well. And but yeah, you know, if you lose by 10 and you've missed 4 points, you kind of think, you know, you kind of missed out on an opportunity of a point. But at the end of the day, there was obviously one chance that would have been an extra 2 points. And I don't really want to talk about it, but
we'll have to eventually.
But I think
let's go through the game. We started in the worst possible way. Sorry, I've gone on a rabbit. I went on a rabbit hole of looking at appearances. We lost. So Shane Daly goes across in the 3rd minute on the first Munster attack of the game. We just defended far too narrow. I can't remember who shot it, but it put someone in no man's land. And Keelan Giles just has too much to do. Really naive. That would have been had Mark Jones having kittens. Because we have defended narrow this season. That's not new. I don't necessarily agree with it. It's the blitzing and then not being able to react to a team getting the ball wide. That slightly annoyed me. So we lose that. Then 2 minutes later, we attack the blind side in front of the East End. Probably not far in front of you yesterday, I'd imagine, is it?
No, I think it was the other side.
Was it west side?
Yeah, it was in front of the west.
So Sean O'Brien intercepts, goes the length, poor Keelan Giles tackle. They go over, annoying. Then the most comical try I think I've ever seen. So Sean O'Brien gets the ball, hacks it through, and it's literally on the touchline, like anything but touching the touchline. Actually, I think if you went to TMO, you could probably frame by frame break it down. All right. Justin Tipperick gets back, goes to dab it down, misses just misses the ball. Owen Williams then goes to kick it, misses it completely, and Sean O'Brien puts downward pressure. At that point, I was honestly, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, we are the unluckiest team in the world. Talk to me. How did it feel in the stadium?
I think everyone's a little bit shocked, but even by the first try, it's quite rare that the Ospreys, concede a try off first phase, and especially really early on in games. You kind of like it takes a bit of time before anyone kind of cracks, and it all came from a scrum penalty as well, which is probably a little bit annoying for Booth and Duncan Jones.
Yeah,
That the Smith goes in on the angle, trying to assert dominance, but obviously doesn't get what he wanted because he was going in against he was boring in, but when you give away the penalty and you think in hindsight, all right, it's an early chance for them. And if you remember the game against Ulster, the Ospreys defended really well, especially early on in that match. And then Munster all of a sudden pull out this first phase move and they score. And you're thinking, well, that's a bit of a surprise. Then the Owen Williams intercepts, which is that was a bit of a blow at the time. And then Kieran Williams thinks it was a good idea to do it again a few minutes after that, and you look at the scoreboard, and it's 19-0 after 16 or 17 minutes, and you're thinking, oh, this, we've seen what Munster can do to other regions. You just want to make sure it doesn't end in about 40 odd points, and just make sure you get off nil to begin with.
it's so ironic that everyone this season has been calling it for us to play more expansive rugby. And as soon as we fling it away twice, we lose. We get intercepted.
Yeah, both of them were, they were very, if the passes went to hand, there's a chance on the wing. I think Giles was there for the first one. No, I think it was Kieran Williams who was there for the first one, and Giles was there for the second one on the outside. So if the pass went to hand, there's a chance, maybe a half brick or maybe something more. But yeah, it's really ironic that everyone mentions, the Ospreys play this forward-oriented style of rugby, but you can just see when you try and running it from just inside your own half or somewhere around there that you have to be rather safe with what you do, especially in attack, because defenses are so good. And I think O'Brien who got the tries. Those interception reads were really good, and especially how we picked the second one out because that was rather impressive. But I think Boothie mentioned it post match about how maybe that was maybe a bit of a tactical element that maybe they didn't get because obviously they knew what they were going to expect from Munster. Lots of physicality up front, and a World Cup win in the second row obviously helps. And the set piece was going to be a big battle, and maybe they tried to maybe evolve from that forward style a little bit and use the backs a little bit more, and they got caught out in the first quarter and kind of sorted that out rather quickly, in fairness to them.
Yeah. So from there, it had a bit of a mountain to climb. It did get worse when Justin Tipuric received a yellow card on 38 minutes. So we did score a try, actually, first 33 minutes. Keelan Giles goes over in a really lovely try, actually. Boshoff hits a lovely line, gets hit, nice little cat flap offload to Keith, and then Keith Ray just very calmly passes the ball to Giles, and we go over it. So you're like, right, 19-5. Okay, let's just go into halftime, reset, come back. We're on top in the scrum at this point, by the way. I just had to point out that we've sorted out the scrum. We're winning penalties. We just can't convert. We're getting into 22. We cannot convert. It's probably the first, and it's credit to Munster. You've got to remember Munster are champions. Yeah, Munster are statistically the best team in the league. They just won the league. 38 minutes in, Holly Davison awards a yellow card to Justin Tipuric for a professional foul. It is a yellow card, unfortunately. Can't really argue with it. I haven't watched it back. But we ride out the storm. Rhys Davis puts a lovely turnover in right at halftime, which leads me into my next stat. He won 2 turnovers that night, and he is the only lock to have won 11 turnovers this season. No player has won more. So I think he's well up. He's still in the top 10, definitely. Might even be in the top 5.
I think he's joint top with a couple other players. I think Thomas Young is one other as well. I read this afternoon. I can't remember who else is with them. I remember reading that the Thomas Young is definitely on 11 and Reece Davis is as well. But Davis was the only lock that's got more than 8, I think, because that was the next second row in line.
But Cardiff told me that Thomas Young's on 864 turnovers this season.
But I think
That's
that's
what they
one
told me.
that's one for the Central podcast of the bit.
Yeah, they'll probably just shout at me. They called me out publicly last week.
Did they?
Yeah, them and Andrew Ford. Shocking.
Ooh.
Inflammatory comments. My lawyers have been in touch. So, after that, we come out. We're dominant. We got all the possession, all the territory. Sam Parry eventually goes over for his 965th try in Osprey's jersey. So what are we, 1912 at this point? No, is it? Yeah, 1912. So you're like, come on, hello. But then RG Snyman goes and scores 5 minutes later, which shouldn't have been a try, by the way. I'm not going to talk about the neck roll, right? The neck roll should have been pinged, right? But that, the Reece Henry holding on penalty, man. Geez, there was clear lift. He was on it for a good 2 seconds, and our refereeing decisions were not as egregious as the ones in the Dragons game, right? But you just want consistency. That's all you want, I think, as a player and as a spectator. How did you think Holly Davidson did?
I thought on the whole she did okay. Every referee makes the odd decision that you probably disagree with. That the Henry one, for example, you kind of think, maybe another day she might have given it, and
Yeah, I agree there.
And a different referee might have given it, the same way. But my bugbear with the URC at the moment is probably how only the referee and the TMO from the same nation. And
yeah, Gwyn Morris seems to be on secondment at the Liberty Stadium, at the Swansea.com Stadium.
And you've got touch judges from the WRU, and no offence to them, but you go and watch the Welsh Prem and you see maybe one of them in the middle, and you're thinking, he's making the odd error in there, in a semi-professional league, and you're thinking, why are they running touch as the other rugby unions not got a full set of officials to come over? I remember they did briefly have that. I think it was just before COVID where they managed to sort out that they'd have a group of 4 to go to games, but obviously COVID kind of held that back for a while. And now they're slowly building that back up with now 2. So yeah, it's I didn't think Davidson had had a particularly bad game. I thought she refed it very well. But I think Di Flanagan said it right. It's a job which 4 people need to be on course with it, and maybe at some occasions in the ORC on a whole, not just this particular match on Friday, but on a whole, maybe just the one, unfortunately. And I think it needs to be a bit more of a collective effort between all 4 across the league.
Yeah. So RG Snyman goes over after sort of not really sustained pressure, but just banging the door. 73rd minute, then Alex Cuthbert powers over, and you're like, "Hello, this could be spicy." To sort of finish it. At this point, what are they? 27-12 up. Alex Cuthbert goes over. We miss the conversion. Then gets to 70, 78, 79 minutes. So we have a ruck. And if you're looking at the TV, we have a ruck on the far left-hand side. We have a penalty advantage. The ball spills out. Cam Jones makes a dart up the side of the breakdown. Very quick off the mark, actually. Really, really quick off the mark. Alex Cuthbert's in on support, gives a simple 2-on-1. Alex Cuthbert, has walked in these trays for years and years and years. 5 meters from the line, his hamstring goes. And it goes like he cannot move. And Mike Haley puts in a tackle. He does well to get the ball away, actually, but it's kicked out. So we bomb that. And then Owen Williams misses the kick to touch. What was worse is we could have taken the scrum option. It would have been a scrum 5 to us.
Would I because when I was watching it live, I was thinking, isn't it because Cuthbert tries an offload back inside for the supporting run of Giles, who had just backed off because everyone had thought that Cuthbert was going to score, and I don't blame Keelan Giles for that at all, because I think everyone in the ground thought that Cuthbert was just going to, stroll in the last 5 meters and score, but obviously rugby's rather cruel like that, and when a hamstring goes like that, it's rather unfortunate. So I thought Cuthbert gave the offload back in. I thought Healy booted it out.
So he booted it dead.
Oh, I thought he booted it in
so
the patch.
I'm pretty sure we had the option. I have to watch it back. I'm dead certain he's kicked it dead, because Holly Davidson clearly said you have the option, and we went, overcooked it, and we lose the game.
It's just stinging way to lose a game.
It just hurts. And I'm over it, right? We lost. They're the champions. It probably right. 10 points is just about right. Like we didn't, we could have, we say this all the time. I'm going to take a leaf at Cardiff, but we could have rolled over and taken a 50, right? And teams in the past would have done. We did half find a way, and we deserved 2 points out of that game. It just hurts in the manner in which we didn't get 2 points. Because statistically, we dominated. I thought our forwards carried really well. I thought Ratty and Davis had a really good game together. Well, Reece Henry was brilliant when he came on. Again, unironically brilliant. Morgan Morris was industrious. Tipuric had probably had one of his quieter games. Deves came on, was tackling everything. Boshoff was great. Giles. I think for me, the player that stood out the most was Jack Walsh when he came on. Iestyn Hopkins didn't have a bad game whatsoever. I just think he didn't get the opportunities that he probably needed. Jack Walsh came on. He really shored up at 15. He looked the best under the high ball he ever has. And it's just ability to find half gaps. He's just so good at that. So yeah, I'm over it. It stung. It really did. But we deserved 2 points. We didn't get it. We're 10 points worse off. Playoff dream is most likely dead. It will know definitely after this weekend. But shit stings, man.
Yeah, it was a bit tough, but when you're walking out of the ground and you the way that the last few minutes has happened, because you're thinking, even the small moments, like if Owen Williams doesn't kick the ball dead and Munster don't have that scrum where they win the penalty from and kick 3 points, you're thinking, and obviously if Cuthbert hamstring doesn't go, if you look at that and you're thinking, wow, it's a one-score game, it's a chance for a penalty or a late drop goal, and with 2 minutes to go, you're thinking, this is anyone's game. Even if Cuthbert just scored normally, you're thinking Lions away is about to reappear all over again, and the Ospreys about to grab a late winner. But obviously, there's going to be times with this young squad where results like that, comebacks like that, don't happen. And I think maybe not over expectation, but you kind of like, with the way that the coaching setup has been and the young group of players have been, you kind of like felt like, oh, they're just going to rock up and win, because why not? It's quite similar to the Edinburgh game where they had that chance near the end. But you just got to think about it with all the mess that Welsh rugby's been through, that they're still competing at this ridiculously high level. You're in top 8 of
Yeah,
URC.
I think we're a season out of where we want to be in terms of you fix them fixable mistakes. All of a sudden, we're competing a lot more. So you're like, yes, come on. Would an Adam Beard have made a difference that game? A Gareth Thomas definitely, I think, would have. That's to say, Rhys Henry played really well, but Rhys Henry was actually the replacement tight end, not the loose head. It's just small margins that pack. It's tough. The boys will bounce back. I genuinely think it's a shame about the crowd. We've sort of said our piece on the crowd before. I'll keep saying it again. We can go in circles all day. We have to start turning up. It's tough. I know it is. But we have to power through and we have to start turning up for this team. It breaks my heart, but it's what we have to do. Oh, right, we've got that out of our system. Oh, God, that was depressing me. Shall we talk? Good player.
Oh, we may as well. Is there anything else to talk about?
So, because we're playing Lions this week, now the only Lions games that we've played are this season where we've beaten them, which we're saving for another episode. You've got the one where we lost by 1 point 2 years ago, which I didn't particularly want to do because that just irks me because of the scrum penalties that game. And then the one where we lost at 42-15 out on the belt.
Was that the one where Michael Collins got a second half interception?
Pretty sure it was.
And it was like, oh, hang on, it's like 30 points to 15. Then the Lions just came back and scored 2 tries in the last quarter.
So we toyed with the idea of doing some Cheetahs games. But we've sort of looked at a Cheetahs game very early on, I'm pretty sure. Where we sort of talked about, oh my God, the Cheetahs have had like half a Springboks on their team before they were Springboks. So, yeah. So then I went and dug around and found some old match programs. And these are just 3 of them that I picked out. And looking at ones, because we've done a few already. So we've done Ospreys Northampton. We looked at Ospreys v Poe with the George North one. But I do want to come back to that game one day. I've got an Ospreys v Ulster game, which we lost by like 3 points. Ospreys Trevisa, which I'm pretty sure we won by like 44-15. I'm pretty sure Nicky Smith got man of the match. But I instead have chosen, this is for those on YouTube, Judgment Day 2018. Now, I will put it out there. I wasn't actually at this game. I just got given this by my family, who did Judgment Day as like a family thing every year. I was still a volunteer, actually, living in England. I actually might have been in Rome when this happened. But yeah, so 2018, it's quite a big program. Yesterday, were you at this Judgment Day?
Yeah, I think I was. I think I went to watch both games, I think, that day.
Yeah, good day. So let's just quickly go through the program. So in our contents, so for you remember the Judgment Day photo shoot they used to do?
Yeah.
Do you know who did it this year?
Was this Bradley Davis's one?
It was Bradley Davis's one.
So it was him. Was Tau Felice there from Cardiff?
No.
No.
Pretty sure it was Kirby Myhill. No, Christian Dacey. It was Christian Dacey. Obviously fresh off his Lions tour. Christian Dacey.
Trying to think of the other.
Scarlets and Dragons.
Could have been any one from any one of those clubs.
So it was a young Leon Brown for the Dragons and Reece Patchell for the Scarlets. Good kits this year.
Yeah, I was about to say the kits those seasons weren't that bad.
So that was a cracking Ospreys level rugby Canterbury kit, which actually, do I have it to hand? I'm pretty sure I do. I have the short. Oh no, I do. Here's the jersey. So I actually have it in mini form for the baby. That was given to as a birthday present by my partner. The shorts are there somewhere. It sits underneath, next to the hat.
The infamous bucket hat.
The OFC bucket hat, which I watch every Ospreys game in. Cardiff at this point was sponsored by Land Rover. Good kit. They were still the Cardiff Blues when they had heritage. Dragons. This is the last year of Newport Gwent Dragons, I believe.
Or did they just do the rebrand the season before?
Was it just the rebrand?
Because
no, it was. It was the rebrand the year before.
Was it the same season where Gavin Enton went back to them?
We'll come on to that later. And then decent Scarlets kit, actually.
Yeah, it was before there was rebuild with sponsors, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So we've got, welcome from Martin Phillips. Ooh. He doesn't age well. Guinness Pro 14 final. Where was it this year? Oh, the shock! It was Dublin.
Oh yeah, they did one in did they do one in Glasgow the year after?
I think it was
when it was Glasgow Leinster and Stuart Hogg got taken out in the air or something.
Yes, I remember this.
Leinster won by a score, and it was a yellow card when there was a lot of debate. It should have been red.
Oh no, I wasn't at volunteer. I was living in university. I was in university at this. That's why I couldn't come. I had exams at university. The team photos, where they have all the teams lining up in front of the trophy. Trying to see who I recognise. Cool, Ian Henderson. He didn't want it. Ken Owens. Geth. Oh, that awful Edinburgh kit where they had the collar. Not a very good kit.
Who was the Ospreys representative that afternoon?
Dan Lydiot.
Oh.
Dan Lydiot, yeah. So Ken, Dan Lydiot, Corey Hill, and Ken, Geth, Dan Lydiot, and Corey Hill. Ryan Wilson's there as well. Is that Mark? I think it's Mark Bennett as well. Good player. I like Mark Bennett a lot.
Centurion, isn't he? For Edinburgh.
Yeah, this is the pre-ram. So we were the later kickoff this day, 17:35. This is the pre-match ramble. So you have when Cardiff Blues and Ospreys met in the Pro 14 at the Liberty Stadium back in January. They were separated by just a single point as a titanic duel in the 29-28 in the host's favour. That was the game in which Justin Tipperick scored off that cross kick, didn't he?
Yeah, it was the Dan Biggar masterclass. That was
a fantastic game.
That performance from Biggar was mental in just ridiculous proportions. That would have been an excellent contender for good player as well. But now we're doing the
that's coming late. I have noted that game down because I watched the highlights of the day. It was a boot. It was a boot of club record points scored Dan Biggar that inspired Ospreys to victory that Saturday afternoon. 2 tries for Rhys Webb, 1 for Justin Tipperick. Cardiff did have that late rally. Owen Lane and Garen Smith going over. Garen Smith, good player.
Good player.
Really like Garen Smith. Underrated.
Good bloke as well. I've spoken to him a couple of
times. Who was Cardiff coach at this point?
Oh no, it was pre-Mulverhill, wasn't it? Oh, who was before? My mind typically goes blank. It's gonna really kick me.
It was Danny Wilson.
Oh yeah, yes.
Harlequins line-out coach.
Yeah, good coach. What I remember.
Good coach. We had some preamble for the World Cup in 2019. I wonder how that panned out. Bad World, good World Cup that.
Good World Cup, yeah.
So they do a little like I don't know if you have this program somewhere, but they have an interview with someone from the club. So for the Dragons, they did one with Bernard Jackman. It's entitled Visionary. I don't know who they were watching. I like Bernard Jackman, great analyst, not a very good coach for the Dragons.
Excellent pundit. I'm pretty sure I do
Excellent
have this
pundit.
program somewhere. I'll have to check the stash of programs I've got.
So rather than going through the team sheet that day, because the team sheet doesn't really change much. We established the team sheet before. We're going to go through the Cardiff and Osprey squad list
Oof.
for the 2017-2018 season. We will go through Scarlets and Dragons later, but we'll talk about the game first. So, the squad list for Cardiff Blues 2017-2018. See how many of these are still relevant. Scott Andrews.
He's still around at Cardiff.
Still around. He's coaching, yeah. He does the academy as well.
Yeah.
Gareth Anscombe, his last game for...
No, it was...
Or was it the season after?
The season after, yeah. Yeah, because he went on the year of the World Cup, didn't he? And obviously the injuries happened.
Kieran Azarati, a very young Kieran Azarati.
Welsh international, good player.
Yeah, good player, with a lot of potential. Sorry, as you said this, Robbie's just put in our group chat saying, I want to 100% agree with what Iestyn said. Is he in the call?
No clue.
I'm going to say we're actually on about Kieran Azarati. This is good radio. Next, Dane Blacker.
Yeah, good play. Yeah, I actually quite kind of rate him. I think he's.
I underrated. Fully expect to see him at the Ospreys to complete it. Jim Botham. God, he's been around a while.
Good player.
Good player. Do you know whose grandfather is by any chance?
That's like the Flamont Loughborough Fifths fly off.
Yeah. Right. Sean Bennett. Not a clue.
No, I don't know.
Callum Bradbury. Wasn't he supposed to be like the next big thing? Callum Bradbury. I'm pretty sure he was supposed to be really good.
I can't remember.
Rhys Carey.
Oh, I wonder what happened to him.
Yeah, I think he's retired now. Macaulay Cook.
Pontypridd line-out guru, because he's very good at pinching line-outs in the Welsh Prep.
Good player.
He set up a trial last weekend, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
show and go somewhere. Good player.
Yeah, no, I fully like Macaulay Cook. Alex Cuthbert was in a rut at this point in his career. This was his last season.
Was just before he went to Exeter.
I think this is before he went to Exeter. This might have been one of his last games. Seb Davis. Before this was pre being positionally abused.
Yeah,
was he being abused?
Pre being moved to the back row.
Yeah. British and Irish Lion, Christian Dacey.
Yeah, British and Irish Lion at the end of the day.
Yeah. A legitimate British and Irish Lion. Corey Domachowski. Loves his family.
Good player.
Good player. I like him a lot. I'd take him in a heartbeat. James Down. Famously played in Russia.
He went to Russia. Yeah, I can't remember when it was.
He had to come home because of the sanctions. That was the weirdest thing because kind of just announced the coach this random Russian club. George Earl, South African. Working at Scarlets for years.
Oh yeah, I think another one. Yeah.
Hard bastard. Second row. Jared Evans, whatever happened to him?
I mean, he's playing in the Gallagher Premiership, I suppose.
He's not even playing. This is a problem.
Despite all,
Felice.
despite all the raving claims that Jared Evans should be playing for Wales.
Yeah. Tao Felice.
Good player.
Man Mountain. Love him.
Didn't they
The
call him?
Fish.
Oh, Dan Fish.
The Fish.
Yeah, interview as in well, he was now as a part of the interview group. They interviewed him after the Cardiff Newport final last season.
Ooh. Ironically, next to him is Reece Gill. Sorry, aquatic themed Cardiff squad. Reece Gill. Oof. Willis Halaholo.
Yeah, good player.
Tom James. Great player. I love
I remember
Tom
when
James
he
a lot.
I remember when he got recalled to the Welsh squad. When was this?
Yes.
2016, 17?
2016, 17, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in that Wales kit with the gold trim.
Yeah. It was obviously at the time where Cuthbert was getting stick of abuse, and like, who else have we got in the squad? Oh yeah, Tom James is still around, but really good player.
Really good player. Ellis Jenkins was in the form of his life
Yeah,
pre-injury.
yeah, just before pre-injury.
Yeah. He got injured this autumn, I think, didn't he? In the
Yeah,
South
against
Africa game.
South Africa. Yeah,
Yeah. Geth.
good
Was
player.
this last season for Geth? I think it was, wasn't it?
No, he retired in 2019. Is it 2019?
He didn't go to the World Cup.
No, I don't think he was in contention for international honours, but I think he played a Pro 14 game against Zebra, which they won like 37-0, and he kicked a
And then he
conversion.
gave a kick to conversion and missed it, didn't
Yeah, I think so.
he? Yeah. Ben Jones, not a clue. Was a fly half. Never heard. Then we move into Lewis Jones, scrum half. I ask Harley and JB Phillips their opinion on Lewis Jones and come back to me. Oofed. Owen Lane, very square head.
He seems okay. He took his try well in Bridgend. Did he score again
He scored. The first one
Yeah.
got disallowed this year, and then I'm pretty sure he scored the second time. Ray Lilo,
Still playing.
still playing somehow.
And still playing very well as well.
Cameron Lewis, again, the same age as me, no idea. Dylan Lewis with hair.
Wonder where he's at now, similarly to Jared Evans.
Right, Shane Lewis Hughes. I thought he was a lot younger.
How old would he have been at this?
He's my age. He's 97, so he would have been 20. No, you've been 21 this year. Jeez, he's old. Custard Slice, Ethan Lewis.
Yeah.
Pre-Saracens.
Wonder where he's at now.
It's on the injury bench. Harry Millard.
I always rated him. I know he hasn't had much of game time with Cardiff, but every time he plays, you think, oh, he's had quite a tidy game, so good player.
Handsome bugger, good player. Wales' answer to the number 10 jersey, Matthew Morgan. Wait, who wrote that? Andy, how old did you write this?
I think he came off the bench a fullback that day as well. And
he probably did.
I think he played rather well.
Kirby Myhill, now at Ealing Trailfinders.
I think his brother plays for Carmarthen Quins, I think. Torrin Myhill.
Torrin Myhill, yes. Good player. Josh Navidi, form of his life.
Pre-DJ Josh Navidi as well.
Pre-DJ, yes. Pre-disc jockey Josh Navidi.
Pre-British and Irish Lion Josh Navidi.
From Josh Navidi. We've got Anton Pirkavashvili. I assume he was a Georgian lad. Let's have a look.
I thought all Georgians played in the top 14. Why is one at Cardiff mysteriously?
Yeah, he clearly was never good at scrummaging.
Well, maybe he just thought that Cardiff played in the French leagues. Who knows?
Anton Pirkavashvili. So his current team is not Cardiff Rugby. Oh my God, this bloke has had more clubs than Tiger Woods. So he played how many games with Cardiff? He didn't even play that many games with Cardiff. He played, what's that, 9, 16. He only played less than 30 games for Cardiff. Oof. 26 games for Cardiff, yeah. Started 16 of them. Picked up a yellow card. Had 8 caps for Georgia. Played for Ulster as well, apparently. Went on loan to Ulster.
Oh, I'm trying to think of who he was. What side of the scrum did he play?
Tight end, I think.
I think his name rings a bell.
I have no memory of it.
I think.
Robbie.
Now that you said he's played for Ulster, I think it does ring a bell. I might be mixing him up with someone else, mind, but who knows?
So, moving on to that, we have somehow Matthew Rees.
Being one of his last.
He definitely would have retired. Yeah. Jack Roberts, centre, again, no idea. But he was quite old. He was born in 91, so he was quite... No idea, no memory of him. Blaine Scully.
Great player.
Great player.
Very good player.
Great player. Stephen Shingler. Now, Stephen Shingler held a record up to this point. Do you know what that record was?
No.
It's a Judgment Day related record.
Most points scored on most appearances at a Judgment Day?
It's most points scored. I'm just trying to find it in said program. But I'm pretty sure he scored the most points in a game. The good thing about this one as well is it has every team sheet in it from Judgment Days past.
Oh, that's
they're good. So where we beat Cardiff the first time, then we beat Dragons, then we beat Cardiff again, then we beat. So we're currently at this point we were undefeated.
No, we lost one. We lost one Judgment Day, 2016-17. Yeah, because I remember a couple of weeks before was that Stad game, and then everyone made a fuss. Oh, the Ospreys are unbeaten at the Millennium Stadium, and then all of a sudden, within the space of 2 weeks, they lost.
Oh yeah, we did. We lost 35-17. So we were on the way. Yeah, we had to pick it up. Yeah, Dacey, Nick Williams, Lloyd Williams, Tau Felice, Anscombe. Yeah. So we were out for blood. So Stephen Shingler held the record for most points current at that time. Now at Ealing, he's our Ealing women's coach as well from next year. We go there to Garrett Smith, great player. Alid Summerhill, still knocking about.
Still going, you're a good player, yeah.
Brad Thayer. He's okay.
Where is he playing now? Is he still at Cardiff?
Brad Thayer, no, he's not at Cardiff. I want to say he's like at Ealing or something.
You might be right. My English Championship does sound right.
Ex-Glasgow, somehow. Yeah,
oh, he did join Ealing, yeah.
Yeah, Pontypridd boy. There we are. Could be back at Ponty soon.
Well, who knows?
Of course, he's a co-owner of Fat Dragon Coffee with Dylan Lewis. So, look, hey, it's all going off. Josh Turnbull, good player.
Yeah, still going. Good player.
Got the best Grand Slam on winners' medal rate to cap ratio ever. Someone who definitely did retire this season, Sam Warburton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent player. Did he play a game for Cardiff? I'm trying to think what year it was.
This was 2017, 2018, wasn't it?
Yeah, because 2017 would have been the Lions tour. Did he?
He was crocked, wasn't he? After the
Lions tour. He got injured. Did he ever play again?
Not sure.
I remember there was a big story about it, of him trying to get back to fitness. Then he just announced it.
Someone who's definitely still not playing, Damien Welch.
Oh, yeah, I remember the one.
There's a lot of talent in this Cardiff squad.
Yeah, it's some really tidy players in here.
Lloyd Williams, good player.
Another one at
Keelan
Ely.
as well.
Yeah,
Nick Williams, big Nick Williams,
great player.
great player. Roone Williams should have been the best thing.
I think he played a fullback in that 2016-17 defeat as well, if I
He
remember
was also
correctly.
the fullback in the 2016 Dynasty under-20s team. One of the best. Should have been the next big thing. And then finally, Mr. Thomas Williams.
Yeah, all right.
Good Cardiff team, right?
Solid.
It's not often I say that. Move on very quickly to the Ospreys. Corey Allen.
This was just after his really good run of form in the Challenge Cup, so good player.
Yeah. One thing I will say is the team photos in this make them all look like they work in the same PE department or like an academy school. Because there's all got like the collars. So Dimitri Arhip, he's been back in the news this week.
Yeah, he's back in Welsh rugby, which is
35 and signed for the
excellent.
Dragons.
I find
Absolutely brilliant.
if he trots out for the Dragons at some point at the end of the season, I think that'll be.
But there's genuinely a possibility he could come back to the .com.
Yes, yeah, there's still a game to be played.
Oh my God, I'm coming back down for that. If he's on the team sheet, I will run if I have to. Right. I will bring my newborn child.
Could you imagine number 17 for the Ospreys, Rhys Henry, then number 18 for the Dragons, Dimitri Arhip?
Just actually faint.
Even if you're only for 10 minutes, just that battle of the set piece, I just want to see.
I will never forget Dimitri's break down the wing. Is it Scarlets or Dragons away?
Scarlets away.
And he puts a lovely little step off his left, and then puts Eli in, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. An unforgettable memory of when Dimitri Arhip got a really poor scrum against Rodri Jones once. That happened. I think it was like his first scrum back in Swansea since he'd left for, well, supposedly Montpellier, but that deal broke down. And Rodri Jones somehow managed to get under him in the first scrum, which got the biggest cheer of the afternoon.
Oh, right. Sorry. Then we've got Lloyd Ashley. He's moved up because he was Lloyd Piers before, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's still going in the Welsh Prem.
Yeah, good player. Great servant, part of the Leinster team. Beat Leinster. Dan Baker.
This was just after his injuries, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I saw Dan Baker just before Christmas. Coaching and playing at Ashton and Nice Rugby. Yeah, nice guy. Should have been more Wales caps. Just unlucky Toby Faletau was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott Baldwin. This would have been Paris getting his hand bitten, didn't it?
No, post hand bitten. Post
Yeah.
hand bitten.
Then you've got Adam Beard, who looked very young in his photo.
British and Irish Test Lion.
British Irish, not at this point. Should have been, but not at this point. Actually, someone who should have been a Test Lion, Ashley Beck.
Great player. I think he started on the bench this afternoon and came on after about like 12 or 13 minutes for some really weird reason, because Fonatia went off and just Beck came on after like 14 minutes. And I still don't know why.
Dan Bigger in his final game for the Ospreys. Or one of his final games. Oh, it would have been his final game.
His penultimate game.
Penultimate game, yeah.
That playoff with Ulster would be Bigger's last game. Wow.
Just unreal. Like, he'd had a brilliant year in a struggling Ospreys team. Lion, played really well on the Lions tour. Just happened to be in a time where Farrell and Sexton were so good.
Yeah.
I honestly think that if you put Dan Bigger, if there was a Lions tour in 2019, Dan Bigger would have been starting 10 by far.
Yeah, it depends who would have been coached because I think the way that Gatlin managed to work out Anscombe and Bigger by having Bigger coming on in the last 20 minutes.
No, I think that for a Lions team, I just think he would have had bigger. 85% goal kicker, boot the ball up. Yeah. Oh, I just love him, man. Like, what a nice guy. Must have been the most horrible bastard to play with.
Especially when, it's probably one of the worst players to play against, especially when he's playing well, just kicking things everywhere.
Do you remember the game in which he shouted at Ryan Jones? Were you there for this?
No.
It was a home game. Ryan Jones was captain. I remember vividly. A breaking play happened, and all you could hear was Dan Bigger chewing him out under the post. It's like, Ryan, don't fucking do that. And he just like, this bloke's a hero. I love him. He just, and he was so good. So good. Ollie Cracknell.
Player? I think
Good
he's
play.
not at Leicester.
Still at Leicester, yeah. Still had that period at London Irish. You're like, yeah, London Irish seems about right. And then weirdly got picked up by Leicester and then was like starting ahead of Jasper Wiese. And you're like, what has happened here? Like, how have you done this? Oh, Bradley Davis, enjoying that career renaissance. He's played very well.
Yeah, he had a good spell, didn't he, for a season or two?
Mm-hmm. Was this the last year of Sam Davis or was it 2019-20?
It was, hang on, 2018. Was it 2018-19 was his finals?
Might have been, yeah. Sam Davis still in that cameo role. Dirksen.
Made a break at the start of this game as well.
Dan Evans.
This was peak Dan Evans as well.
Peak Dan Evans. The best regional player to ever exist. Mafufia was great at this point.
Yeah, just coming off the bench and just being useful. Mm-hmm. It was good.
Kieran Fonatia, squarehead.
I remember my dad always used to say about Fonatia when he joined the Scarlets, and he had a couple of friends from work who were big Scarlet supporters, and they were saying, Fonatia has been really good, blah, 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 blah. And my dad always used to reply saying, well, he never did that for the Ospreys. And that was
I liked Fonatia.
I didn't mind him at all, but I think my dad was probably a little bit aggrieved with all these Scarlet supporters saying, he was the best thing ever. But yeah, no, I didn't mind him. Remember that try he scored against Glasgow in 2017?
Yeah.
In that performance where Luke Price won man of the match. That was a really weird game, that was.
Good, Luke Price, man of the match. Keelan Giles was injured around this time.
Yeah, he was.
Was this the Ashton Hewitt injury?
Yeah.
Nasty one that was.
That was the first real setback he had.
My granddad still mentions that. He still hates Ashton Hewitt to this day because of that. It was a horrible challenge. Swansea RFC and Swansea Uni RFC head coach, Hugh Gustafsson.
Yeah, good coach from what you read.
Good coach, very good coach, nice guy. Never really worked out as a player. Tom Haberfield.
His penultimate game for the Ospreys.
Yeah, it was. You're right. Speaking of penultimate game for the Ospreys, Jeff Hassler.
Yeah, the try he scored against Connacht a few weeks before the interception, and he just did a big dive underneath the posts. Everyone just thought, he's just diving because of the sake of it, but that was like his last home try, I think.
What a man. I would pass on the next one, but he's dummied it for me. It's Mr. James Hook.
Good player.
Good player. Maybe not at this point. Dav Howells. Never really worked out for Dav Howells, did it?
No, he had the really good spell when Giles was creaking into the Welsh squad, where he just went under the radar and played rather well. But yeah,
he was playing for Abercrave recently, wasn't he?
Yeah, a couple of my friends will tell me about that. So he was playing out there.
Tell you who was playing well at this point, Paul James.
Yeah, it was near the end of his career, wasn't it?
Yeah, he played because he finished on 182 games for the Ospreys and then came back and then went into the 200 club. Ben John.
Good player.
Good player. Was unfortunately would meet his end at the end of the year.
Excellent content creator.
Excellent, nicest guy. Alan Wynn, he had a good game.
Yeah, I remember him playing well, actually. Yeah, he had a good game.
Rodri Jones.
He used to scrummage both sides. Couldn't really
Yeah.
compete back then.
Will Jones.
A really good player. I remember Wales on 90.
Really good. Where did he go? Did he go
Didn't
to
he go?
Plymouth?
He went to university somewhere. I can't remember
Yeah.
where.
Yeah. And then sort of stayed down there.
Yeah, excellent open side flanker during the Anglo Welsh Cup. That's
James King.
good player. This is
Good man.
near his peak as well.
This was near his peak. This is when he was known as the tightest bloke in the Wales squad.
And just pinched lineouts every.
Yeah, could play everywhere in the back five.
Yeah.
The bald menace, Brendan Leonard.
Yeah.
Bob Leonard's nephew.
An All Black.
An All Black. Led a player revolt against Steve Tandy. Communist icon Brendan Leonard. Dan Lydiot.
Yeah, good player.
Beckham, what we said. Rob McCusker.
Oh, the Saracens game where you give away in Europe where you give away a really silly free kick from a scrum.
The dark McCusker years.
That still haunts me to this day. That free kick decision. Nothing about the rest of the game. That free kick decision.
Speaking of dark years, Guy Mercer. Just think who we traded for him.
I remember the signing announcement as well, and he was thinking, oh, a flanker from Bath. They've been really nice because they just pinched Underhill, and then Guy Mercer appears. His first game away at Glasgow, we lose like 30 odd points to 10. That was awful.
Third turns up. Young Ruben.
It's breakthrough season.
Brian Majati.
Oh yeah, didn't he suffer injury and then they just
the original rugby YouTuber.
Yeah, really good rugby YouTuber.
Georgie Nebuzadze.
Yeah, a Georgian international, I suppose. He really played for the Ospreys, though, didn't he?
No, never really fitted in. Scotland, Sam Parry, Luke Price. What a lineup!
Solid.
Scotland, I miss every day. Bring me back, my chip and chase man. Loved the line break. Nicky Smith and Gareth Thomas. It's mad to think that Gareth Thomas was like fourth choice prop.
Yeah, you had Nicky Smith. You'd have. Well, I can't remember when. No, Rodri Jones.
Rodri Jones.
Yeah, he just converted back to loose head.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'd have Gartom then third choice. And then you look at it now and you're seeing Gartom first choice for Wales most of the time. Again, that was so weird, but obviously really good player.
Major League Rugby legend Joe Thomas.
Yeah, formerly of Leicester, now at the Whites.
Morrison's finest. Speaking of Bonamine's finest, Rory Thornton.
Cardiff now.
Cardiff, calling the line out. An academy, I don't think everyone wants too much. Justin Tipperick, the less said about him, the better.
2 yellow cards and 6 appearances this season. Whoops.
Eli Walker, who weirdly doesn't have a photo. This was his last year of rugby as well.
He'd have just retired midway through the season, I think.
He did, yeah. Owen Watkin.
Oh, breakthrough season, Owen Watkin.
Season.
Oh, take me back.
And then Rhys Webb. Was his last season?
Yeah, he was injured from around Six Nations time. So I think his last game was away in Claremont that season in Europe.
So I looked at the actual team sheets, right? And there was a few surprises on there. Do you know who them surprises were, by any chance?
Trying to think of the teams. It'd been...
So if I go through the actual teams from the day. So Cardiff, from 15, Matthew Morgan, Aled Summerhill, Gary Smith, Stephen Shingler at 12, not exactly in first choice, Blaine Scully, Gareth Anscombe, Lloyd Williams captain, Gill, Myhill, Felice, Welch, James Down. That's not a very athletic second row. Jesus. And it doesn't get much better. Macaulay Cook
Ooh, Macaulay
at
Cook.
6. Ollie Robinson at 7. Now, he's not listed in the squad list.
Good player though.
Great player. So he's not in the squad list.
Oh,
Which is weird.
didn't he go out on loan to an English? No, that'd been
That was after. That was way after. And then Nick Williams. So, yeah. Then you got Ethan Williams on the bench, hooker. Don't remember him. Domachowski, Dylan Lewis, Ben Murphy, Ellis Jenkins, Lewis Jones, Max Llewellyn.
Oh, a very young Max Llewellyn.
Max Llewellyn is about 12 now, so I can only assume he was like a pre-pubescent. Max Llewellyn is 25. He's not young. Max Llewellyn is not young. So this must have been his debut.
Maybe a rather young one back then, I suppose, a few years ago.
The Glantave boy. This was his debut. Yes. Didn't score his first try until 2021. And then Owen Lane. Now, for the Ospreys, pretty standard-ish team. Dan Evans, Jeff Hassler, Fartia, Beck, Dirksen, Bigger, Haberfield. Standard backline for the time. Nicky Smith, Scott Owen, Dimitri Arhip, Bradley, Alan Wynn, Guy Mercer, Sam Cross, James King. We had Sam Cross this season.
I remember Sam Cross had a really good game this afternoon, if memory serves me correct.
He made his Wales debut this season. Or was it the season after in the autumn?
It would have been
the All Blacks game in the autumn.
No, it was 2017. It was because
he
scored the brace against Saracens, then got drafted into the Welsh squad.
Also beat up Owen Farrell, didn't he?
Yes, well, allegedly, but yes,
allegedly. So, but on the bench then, Ivan Phillips,
good player,
good from the academy that season. Yeah, that is supposed to be very good on Espedware. Not that I can understand him, because I'm not blessed with the mother tongue. He made his debut in 2017. Yeah. Roger Jones, Matthew Fear, Adam Beard was on the bench at this point, which is mental because he was Wales a year later.
Yeah.
Morgan Morris.
Oh, it'd been one of his first few games as well. I think he made his debut against Gloucester.
He made his debut in Europe, didn't he?
No, I think it definitely was the LV Cup. Oh, he might. I can't remember.
Did he not make his debut against what's it called?
Unless he came off the bench
Racing.
Again. Oh no, the Racing game would have been a couple of years after. I think Morris's debut would have been Gloucester 2017 LV Cup.
Or am I thinking of Will Griff?
Ooh.
No, he made his debut against Connacht. I think it was Will Griff who made his debut because Will Griff made his debut alongside Guido Volpi. Yeah, so Morgan Morris was knocking about with Matthew Aubrey, Sam Davis, and Owen Watkins.
Still really weird seeing the Fonatia went off of about quarter of an hour for Watkins. Bizarre.
Who ref this day?
No, I don't.
The creep inspector, Frank.
Was it? Oh, it was. Yeah, I was thinking John Lacey, but no.
I have to go through the Dragons team, right?
Oh,
because
here we
it is a fucking belter, right? This is not the squad. This is just a team from the day. Okay. So first off, referee was Lloyd Linton. Wow.
Oh. Oof.
Gwyn Morris was kicking about. Adam Jones.
Oh, that'd be another young Adam Jones, I assume. Running down.
So, 15, Hallam Amos. Good player. I liked Hallam Amos. Ashton Hewitt was in my bad books at the time. Zane Kirshner. This said he was on loan.
Zane Kirshner at the Dragons.
Kirshner, 13.
Oh, there was I saw an old clip of him on YouTube when he was playing for Leinster the other day. Then I realised, oh wait, that man played for the Dragons.
Zane Kirshner.
Mental.
It gets better. Connor Edwards at 12, who I have no memory of whatsoever.
No.
Arwell Robson at 10.
Yeah,
He must have been about 12 at that point, really.
he's at Cardiff now, isn't he? So
Yeah. Charlie Davis at 9. No idea. Thomas Davis. These are all made up people.
they might. Was it? Oh, I can't remember if there's this time where Jackman just chucked in a few academy lads and just said,
Yeah.
"Go on, play."
So then you see Elliot D, Lloyd Fairbrother, standard. Joe Davis, standard. Underrated Joe Davis. Reinhard Landman, great player.
Good player.
Still knocking about now.
Yeah,
Harry Keddy, Aaron Wainwright, James Benjamin. Good back row that.
solid. Yeah.
Liam Belcher.
Oh wow. Oh,
Yeah.
I searched this up earlier and I was just looking at some stats on Belcher and I was thinking, when on earth did he play for the Dragons? And now I know. Now I know.
Luke Garrett. No idea.
No.
Sausage. Dan Suter.
And Suter, yeah, this is the time where he was at the Dragons, isn't he?
Yeah.
Still going now. I think he's injured. Sadly.
Newport, to me, yeah. Max Williams. A lot of hype around Max
There
Williams.
was a lot of, yeah.
I liked him a
at
lot.
the time.
Never really kicked it.
Yeah, he was coming through the 20s, wasn't he, at the time?
Yeah, his ACL injury. No. Who did he partner in that under 20s team? I want to say someone good.
I'm going to work it out. No, it wouldn't have been. No, it might have been a bit too early for Wilgruff. Or might, not too sure. 2017-18.
I'm searching it up now.
Still, I'm not too sure. Because I remember he used to come off the bench, I think, a couple of times in the 20s as well. So it must have been someone half tidy in there.
Because he went out to Coventry on loan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Anyway, I'll have to come back to it. But there was a lot of hype around him. Did his ACL, don't think he ever came back to it. Tame Basham, Sarah Pretorius.
Played for the Southern Kings, yeah, good player.
Yeah. Adam Warren, still going now.
They'll go in at the league leaders.
And Joe Goodchild.
Yeah, I think didn't he play for Cardiff last season? I think he
might have.
In terms of in the Welsh Prem.
And let's very quickly go to that Scarlets team, because this was a Scarlets team that just won the league.
Yeah, and went to the semi-final of Europe.
And semi-final of Europe. So, Lee Halfpenny. Yeah, great. Johan Nicholas. Would have been quite young, Johan Nicholas.
Solid. He always kind of looks the same as time.
There's no Paul Asquith. Scott Williams, captain. Hadley Parks. Steph Evans. Steph Evans was very good at this point, so I'll give him that. Gareth Davis and Patchell made it 9 and 10. Rob Evans, Ryan, Elias Sampson Lee, their best ever front row. They were playing very well. Lewis Rawlins at 4. Stephen Cummins at 5. Tyke Byrne, James Davis, and Will Boyd. At the time, a very good back row. Ken Owens was on the bench.
Was this the year you had to wear like a different number, like 56 or something? He came off the bench and scored.
Wait, might have been, but I don't remember that whatsoever.
I think it was because there's something like some sort of printed issue, and he was obviously came off the bench. He had to wear like 56. And I think it was like 10 minutes ago he scored off them all.
Okay, I think you are right. Yeah, he did, because they won 33-6. Werner Kruger, very nice man.
Solid.
Once tipped me in a pub. David Bulbring, great player. One of their best physical second row. John Barkley, he was knocking around. He was tail end of his career, wasn't he?
Yeah, was he on the verge of leaving, or was that the season after?
Must have been, because they would have got Blake Thompson in.
Yeah, he did come
very
in
soon after.
Soon after.
Jonathan Evans, Dinky Jones, and Steph Hughes. It's a mental Dragons team, though. But their squad list is even more mental, because you still have the likes of like Dan Babos in there.
Dan Babos, isn't he like the youngest player to represent the team in the league or something.
Something like that. What's funny is that there's a mascot section in this where they go through like a mascot from each of the things, and the Dragons one, their favorite player is Dan Babos. So just some highlights for the Dragons one. Reece Buckley remember him? He was weird.
No.
Nick Hudd was still around, probably injured at this point. Who else was around? I remember Ollie Griffiths was around. Obviously, Gav had signed. He was looking old during this stuff. Very old.
Was near the end, wasn't it?
Yeah. Max Williams. There's a player on here, a man called Calvin Wellington. Now, Calvin Wellington. Do you know the story of Calvin Wellington?
No, I don't.
So Calvin Wellington was a player at Aberafon Harlequins rugby, which is where I was playing my rugby So I was in school. Because I went to the school St. Joseph's. Calvin Wellington was the other person signed by St. Helens when Reagan Grace got signed. And it never really worked out for Calvin. Really talented player. Loved rugby league, played a bit in Sheffield and at various other places. Picked up with the Dragons, never played as far as I'm concerned, and then went back to rugby league. And I don't know what he's doing there, but he was a really talented player. But he was always remembered as the other one because Reagan Grace obviously went on to have glittering career. Let's have a look what Calvin Wellington's doing. He's in Manchester. Doesn't look like he's playing. That's sad. Zane Kirshner was in there. Actually, Zane Kirshner was still signed at the Dragons. He hadn't even left.
Yeah, he was starting, didn't he? He wouldn't have left if he was starting. But actually, might be one of his last games, actually.
Yeah, and Aaron Wainwright was probably injured. Tavis Noyle was still there. Yeah, mental. I couldn't. Where's the scout this one? Quickly. I can't find it. Right, that was good player. That was a great trip down memory lane. Judgment Day 2018. Beautiful time. Shall we talk very quickly about the Lions on Saturday?
Oh, we may as well. It's probably a really big game.
Saturday, 3:00 kickoff. It's going to be a tasty one, isn't it?
I hate to be picky, but I think kickoffs are 3:05.
Oh, shut up. The teams will come out at 3:00.
I hate to be picky. I might be wrong.
It is 3:05. I've just looked at it there. Yeah, it's 3:05 kickoff. We'll know more tomorrow, but looking like Beard and Gatom get back in. We have a potential, but a very, very strong squad. I expect we'll see Dan Edwards back in. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Owen Williams stick with the 10 jersey. We have to win, first and foremost, right? You know this. You wrote the article on it. 5 points is what we need. I mean, a win is what we want, though. Or 5 points is what we want, a win is what we need, essentially. Do we have the capabilities to win this one?
I think they do. Even just by looking back at some of the moments from the January game where it was just all kind of chaos and things like that. And it's going to be interesting to see what Booth does do with selection. Because if you remembered last year before the Saracens game, there was a derby against the Dragons where you kind of rested a few players, gave other players an opportunity, and then kind of reverted back then for the Saracens game. But I think this time it's a little bit different with the European game the following week. I think it's probably just to get an 80 minutes to make sure no one gets injured again, and to get them all back playing with each other. The internationals settled back in. Even if we only saw Gareth Thomas for 20 minutes off the bench, it's still better than nothing. I think Beale will probably start because of how important he is in the line-out and that particular set piece. But yeah, like you said, 10's a really interesting one because you've kind of got three of them, haven't you? With Walsh, Edwards, and Owen Williams.
Yeah.
And you kind of looking back at the Munster game and thinking, is Owen Williams going to start again? Is he going to bring in Walsh at 10 maybe to give him a run out before the Sale game? Or is he going to stick with Edwards for two really big challenging games? Or is that too soon for him and he might just stick with Owen Williams? So who knows? It'll be interesting to see what he does with the centres as well. Because you just want to make sure that everyone kind of gets into the week that they play Sale.
The centre's a tough one. I've gone for Watkins to start. But it's interesting.
I kind of feel like having Kieran Williams on the bench probably makes things maybe a bit different. Don't want to run him out for 80 minutes before Sale just in case something, like an injury or something like that would happen. But even if you just had him off the bench, 20, 30 minutes.
That's what they did against Lions away, wasn't it?
Yeah, you had Walsh, you had Cam Jones all on the bench, all adding a bit of zip in a way. And yeah, it's a really interesting one. It's quite an intriguing selection compared to last year where you just knew that they were going to make changes before the Saris game. But this one, do you stick and give them more minutes, or do you maybe change it about a bit?
I think what Booth has been really consistent is that squad selection. And I don't expect him to change now. What we just have to hope is that injury-wise we come off better. And we don't know because the press conference hasn't happened. We might see that we have more available. So we're looking like a Will Griff coming back, Ethan Lewis, Don Morris. I do think having like a Derry Lake and an Ethan Lewis back makes a difference to the bench. Just takes that pressure off Lewis Lloyd a bit. I predicted a Prothero coming in on the wing with Cuthbert being out. You might even see a Hopkins on the wing. I just think having Prothero just makes it positionally a bit more sound. I genuinely think you could see a 6-2 for this. I don't think we will. I think he will stick with the 5-3, but the 6-2 is an option. It's an interesting one. I just want to see us start well. Right? We struggled with the start against Edinburgh and definitely against Munster. Weather the storm for 15 minutes, right? And then I'll be happy. And then go from there. Build on that. That's what I want. That's where we struggled is we don't start well. We're really terrible at starting games and starting hard as well. So that's all I'm looking for, really. Can you give me a score prediction, Iestyn?
Well, one thing I was going to say, just make sure everyone stays fit before the Sale game because how big and important that game is going to be.
Yeah.
And one I'm really looking forward as well. But this weekend, I haven't put much thought into it. They're going to come with a big pack, and they'll want top 8. They won a very impressive away performance in Galway last week. Not many teams go to Galway and win like that.
No.
In the way that they did.
Not many teams will win in Galway, let alone.
Yeah, well, yeah, even if they do win in Galway, it's by like a point or two. But the Lions just ripped that script apart. So, I'm probably thinking more of a Lions win by about 1 to 3 points. There's not much in it, as long as it's not as painful as the one at the start of last season where we lost by. If that happened again, that would be rather frustrating. But it'd be something like 22-19, something like that. I think it'd be a really close game, but just falls short. I think their pack's quite good. I think their inside centre Maris Lowe has got like the highest amount of turnovers conceded in the league, which is rather interesting.
Yes,
and so
they also like to give away penalties.
Yeah, as we just seen in the Challenge Cup game, but I think they probably come into this one as slight favourites, despite the heroics of January.
Yep, I definitely think you're right. They come in; they're definitely favourites. our discipline was good against Munster. I know it's weird to say we got yellow card, but only conceded 6 penalties. Do that against Lions or force them to give away penalties. You have a really big shot there. Really, really big shot. If we can get our goal kicking on point, as well as going to, we want the bonus point, yeah, but win the game first. I'm going to go Ospreys by 6, just to back the boys. I'm definitely going Sam Parry try. It's coming. Yeah, we'll know more once we hit the press conference tomorrow. So check Twitter tomorrow. We'll update some stuff. But I think that's going to be it for tonight. I've got some work to do. Iestyn's probably got some Wales Online articles to write.
I haven't actually. I'm quite up to date. Just there's the 2 coming out tomorrow, and then whatever happens with the Wales Women's press conference, which is going to be quite interesting, I think. So yeah,
brilliant. Cool. So we'll see you next week. Maybe is Easter holidays for me, so I potentially will be here next week to break down the Lions game. But mainly, we're going off to that for that Sale game. So we'll see. Have a good one, folks. You can find us all on the regular podcast basis, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can find us on X at Ospreys Every Podcast, at Iestyn_Thomas1. We'll see you soon. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the Cardiff Central Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. Please subscribe, rate and review wherever you listen to us, as it really helps spread the word. You can find us on all the usual social media channels or email us on welshregionalrugbypod@gmail.com. And remember, whatever the question is, rugby is always the answer.
Sports Social Podcast Network.